Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I am so excited. We are just right at the 2020 International Mandela Effect Conference, and I'm so delighted to bring Regina Merideth on. She's our keynote speaker this year. How are you doing, Regina?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful. And I'm so excited to have you on the program. And I thought a great way to sort of build a little momentum. You're going on this Saturday, the 20th, June 20th,
Yes,
as a keynote speaker.
that's
Um,
correct.
so, for those that might not know who you are, you want to give a quick little background about who
My
you are?
background is in media. I've been in my entire life and kind of stumbled in it, actually. And starting with a career as a sports broadcaster decades ago, which led to offers to do news. So I did some news anchoring. I really did not enjoy the medium at all. I found it was very much controlled top to bottom. So I chose to take my media skills that had been developed over the years and then go my own direction with it, and that meant going into alternative subjects. And I started doing that. Ooh, I started doing that in the very early 1990s, almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
I stepped out and decided using media for my own purposes. And so it was a matter of just getting a buy in with a few open minded news directors to start merging more edgy information with what people normally got on the evening news. So I was successful in doing that in a number of ways through the years, and then went a whole different path for a while because of my passion for cooking. And as a vegetarian, I started Regina's Vegetarian Table. That was in the late 90s and spanned into the 2000s. And that was really to just kind of show that we could do more than we thought with vegetables and make it an interesting proposition, because a lot of people's kids weren't eating meat anymore. So that was fun. I did that for a few years. And then right after that is when I started with my ex partner husband, started Conscious Media Network. And that was in 2004. And that extends into now what we're doing today, 16 years later, both with reginameredith.com and Gaia TV, which is taking subjects that are on the leading edge. It doesn't really matter what the subject matter is. It can be alternative ways of healing, all the way through to the presence of extraterrestrials and our military interface with them, to the Mandela Effect. So it's really about being open minded and embracing new ways of thinking. And I've been on that path now for 16 years.
That is really awesome. I'm excited to hear your talk. What have you really found fascinating about the Mandela Effect?
What I love about it, and Cynthia and I were talking about this yesterday, is that by the time we get done with this conference and conferences in years to come, what we know for certain is going to happen, it's simply going to open more doors of inquiry. It's going to create more questions than answers. Because when you really start drilling down into the Mandela effect, what's fun about it is we're using very visceral, almost mundane representations in the beginning of things like Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, right? That's a
Mm-hmm.
common one that people talk about. Jif versus Jiffy peanut butter, all these kind of fun remembrances in the collective memory, as opposed to what's showing up today as empirical evidence, and essentially overwriting and erasing what we experienced and knew to be true at a point in our personal histories and our collective memory. So this has massive implications that goes far beyond cereal boxes and peanut butter. This has to do with the nature of time and space, and how interference patterns, so to speak, on the quantum level can occur to literally change our history as we know it. And so, is it parallel timelines, jumping from timeline to timeline? I think in some cases, yes, we're dealing with parallel timelines that have already been developed. And when we're looking at it otherwise, is it an interference pattern that we have collectively, or someone with strong enough mind and will, is interjected into the system that created a new outcome that overwrote everything we knew to be true? When you go searching for it, I'm going to talk about a couple examples of that in my talk on Saturday. So this extends all the way into how do you create an instant quantum shift in something, right?
Exactly.
Some Okay, this goes into things like instant healing. How can someone have a miraculous instant healing when their physical reality was one way, and literally even minutes later have a completely new and opposite reality? So the Mandela effect is just, I think, a really kind of it's a catchy and fun way to enter into the deepest questions that humanity can even come up with at this time in our development.
Oh, I totally agree. And I know some people get fearful when they see reality changing in a seemingly impossible way, but there is an excitement to it, that the possibilities that what we once thought was solid and unchangeable is in fact fluid and dynamic and can be changed. And we've seen this time and time again with what you're talking about with spontaneous healings. We've seen it happen where they're looking on one of these ultrasounds, and you can see like a tumor dissolving away just within a matter of moments. And so this stuff is happening. We're moving into this new era where I think just knowing this is possible is really going to increase these happenings more, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And I really appreciate the fact that Cynthia Sue put herself and her scientific reputation on the line really early on to jump into this, because she herself is a magical being who has had so many experiences that it's undeniable. Same thing with many of the people that are going to be speaking there. But it was really her impetus to start putting this out there in the media and such. That's how I came in contact with the notion of the Mandela effect. Even though I'd had experiences, I would not have a name for it. The Mandela effect just kind of gives us a name, kind of a functioning title for the
Right.
film we're all working on together to start developing it. And so, yeah, I agree with you, because it's showing us the potential. And what I'm intrigued with functionally is the nature of how our mind, desire, and will affect these outcomes that can literally overwrite what appeared to be solid history.
Absolutely. Well, I was on your website, and I want to invite people to go visit it, because on your bio, it was great. You have pictures of you decades ago on the news and all this. It was really neat to see sort of your history laid out there in such a great way. But you also offer content on there. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I was surprised that you've got this whole platform now at
Yeah.
reginameredith.com. I've got it on the screen for you guys.
Yeah, basically, this Conscious Media Network, as I said, was what we started in 2004. And that was sold to Gaia TV. And so Gaia TV took my content at that time, which was hundreds and hundreds of interviews, and used that as a platform to start what is now their original production. Now they have a lot of hosts. At the beginning, they had Lisa Garr. She'd been there 6 months. I came on, this was 8 years ago. And then they brought my inventory in. So it created a larger platform in order for them to grow original content. All I've done is, in addition to being with Gaia, which I am still with Gaia, I'm doing X number of interviews for them each year. And I do the same number of interviews on my own site, because there have been some limitations with Gaia in the sense that they really want people live in studio, which is really nice. It's wonderful. It creates a connection being in the same physical space. It's very expensive to do that and produce that way. They have the money to do it. The downside is there are certain conditions where we can't bring people in from outside the United States. So if you have a story that's centered in England, Canada, New Zealand, wherever, we really can't pursue it. Or I can do that using Zoom, just as we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was a no-brainer to start my own site and just double down on the number of offerings. And most people don't know it's there because I do not have a marketing team. It's just me. And so I don't know anything about any of that. So what happens is a lot of Gaia viewers stumble across my site and say, oh my God, I had no idea. There's all this content here and it's free. So I just try to let people know one-on-one, I've got a site. If you want to swing by, I have a lot of good content on it.
That's exactly why I wanted to bring it up, because I didn't know. I've seen you on Gaia, but I was like, oh my gosh, look at all this, And so, I'm sure my viewers will be happy that they know about that now. I do want to thank you so much, Regina, for taking the time, and I'm looking so forward to the talk on this Saturday and the Q&A session. I'll be there.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear it. Well, thank you. I love your background.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. So thank you for your time. And let's kind of open up our minds to all kinds of possibilities and tons of new questions starting next Saturday. I think it's going to be a blast.
Awesome. We'll see you guys there. Lots of love, light, and unity to each and every one of you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Be sure to check out the website at uotf.net. There you will find the live stream schedule displayed in your local time right there on the front page. Below that, you'll find links to take the Beyond Quantum Healing course at a discounted rate, purchase our book, Mandela Effect, Friend or Foe, in paperback or ebook, or to contact me to schedule a BQH session. At the top of the site, you'll find links to help support the work I do, access the free private forum where you can discuss organizing get-togethers in your area, Mandela effects, and more. Thank you all so much for being here.